You can't have Europe if you turn your back on it. It doesn't work. And yet, I still hear members of the American establishment coming to tell the Europeans, you people are going to have to do more for yourselves over here because we got to handle China. It's exactly the wrong approach. What we need is a complete condominium of interest, security, economic, technical, military, cultural between the United States and Europe. Then you have the total package to be able to say to China, look, it's a big world. We can all get along. There's no reason to fight about things. Let's go to the moon together. But right now, we're not seeing it that way. And that's the problem. And it's as though it's really unfortunate that Ukraine is here because it's really distracting us. We'd really like to focus on China, and you people keep telling us to give ATACMS and tanks and training and F-16s and stop. I mean, we've got Congress telling us, I'm just saying what Congress says, you got to be ready to fight the Chinese in 2 years. And we just heard Admiral so-and-so say the Chinese 2027, and this Air Force guy says they're coming after us. So it's a very confused dialogue in the United States. But here's my message. There's one way forward. Number one, America has to understand its future is locked in step with Europe unless it wants to be an isolated country out there on the fringes. That means labor standards, environmental standards, technical standards, not just military. We got to get closer together. Secondly, there's no bypassing Ukraine. Ukraine is not a speed bump in the way to dealing with China. Ukraine and success here is fundamental to dealing with China. And it starts with the articulation of a policy. And I'm sorry, but staying as long as you want, as long as it takes, and saying, but we don't want a confrontation with Russia. That's not a policy. That's a political statement.
Thank you.
What's the policy? Russia leaves Ukraine, reparations, all people return, war crimes committed. That's the policy. And then you sit down and develop your requirements, the military requirements as well as the diplomatic requirements. You develop those requirements the same way we developed Operation Overlord in World War II to cross the British Channel. And I promise you, you develop those channels. Mike Pompeo just told you, Putin's a risk calculator. You develop those requirements, you start fulfilling them, you're going to find Russia suddenly very interested in negotiations and would like to have some Western development support.